someone asked, is it time to just trade some players? And the trade deadline is in week 9. So I think there's plenty of time to figure that out. But I do think that it's time to start taking calls if people are calling. I think you have to be realistic about where you're at and where it's going. I think today was a dose of reality that it's not going to turn around. Next week, it's not going to get any better. Giants are after that. Maybe you get a win there. Maybe that's the best opportunity. But I think you have to be realistic about where this thing is going and where it needs to get and where and how quickly it's going to get there. And this isn't a 1 year turnaround. It's not a 2 year turnaround. It's a build. Like, you're going to have to build. And you have to be honest about who's going to be part of that build. Is Chris Olave going to be part of it? You know, his contract's up in a couple of years. You know, you got to see, like, is Alvin Kamara going to be part of it? You know, how long does he have left? Does a contender need a running back at some point? Is there an injury? That happens, you got to see. Is DeMario, you know, is there a contender that needs a linebacker? If someone wants to call, you got to hear it out. Like, Alvin has a no trade clause, so there's that. I think trading DeMario would be absolutely devastating to your team culture, but you got to see where it's going and you got to see what's available. And if someone's willing to pay you to eat that bad culture for a year, or to trade an icon like Alvin, and you know, man, the city would be heartbroken. But you got to be willing to take those calls, and you got to be willing to break hearts maybe to find your best path out of this. Because at some point, you know, if these guys just retire and you don't get anything for them, they just retire. And maybe that's okay. Maybe that's how the story goes. Maybe Alvin's just meant to be a city legend and start his career here and finish his career here. But this, you know, if James Cook gets hurt suddenly and the Bills need a running back and they're willing to pay anything to keep their Super Bowl window going, you got to take the calls.